A First Nation group performs traditional songs as Pope Francis arrives in Alberta, Western Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is by his side to kickstart his week-long trip. He's set to meet with members from the First Nations, the Métis and the Inuits, the three Indigenous groups formally recognised by the Canadian government. The Pontiff is expected to present a formal apology to Indigenous people who survived decades of abuse at residential schools run by the Catholic Church.
Let's be bold and ask him, His Holiness, the Pope, to come to Canada, because that's what the survivors need and want in order for them to heal from the traumas.
From the end of the 19th century until the mid-1990s, roughly 150,000 Indigenous children were taken from their homes and forced into residential schools. These schools were aimed at eradicating the culture and language of the country's Indigenous populations. Many were beaten, verbally and sexually assaulted, and thousands died from neglect and suicide. For most of the Indigenous community, the Pope's formal apology is too little too late.
We suffer a lot from intergenerational trauma. I feel very emotional, but it's mostly for the survivors. I think it's them who need to be heard. It's not the Pope. Who cares what he's going to say?
A 2015 Truth and Reconciliation Committee, where thousands of survivors testified, showed the extent of what is now considered cultural genocide. Indigenous nations are asking for concrete measures to be put in place to address intergenerational trauma and systemic racism.